You've decided you want to go to Europe. Now, how should you go? Well, there's lots of options. You can fly into one city and travel around by train, or maybe rent a car. There's a lot of options as to how to get around Europe. But maybe you're kind of a cruise person. I am. And so when we went on our big trip to Europe, I wanted to cruise. So should you choose to cruise? Well, let's look at how it went for us, and maybe that'll help you decide whether or not that's going to work for you. Well, this trip was a really big deal. This was me and my two sisters. It was for the retirement of one of the sisters. She had taught kindergarten for many, many, many years. And so she was retiring, and we were going to go on a great big trip to Europe. We had been planning this trip for honestly years. We went in October of 2023. The flight over went very well. It's a long flight, but it's not as long as some flights. So we were next to each other and got to watch movies and dine, and it was fine. It was a great flight. Then when you get to the airport, we collected our bags, and then we went through passport control. Then our plan was to take a taxi to our hotel. The three of us do not speak Spanish, but two of us had a little bit of Spanish language learning under us. But I took a screenshot of the hotel and the address before we left the United States, so that I would have something to show the taxi driver, so that they would know exactly where to go to take us to our hotel. They took us to our hotel, and I have to tell you, it was wonderful. It had the little balconies like you see all over Europe, and I have always dreamed of sometime, staying at a hotel or being in an apartment or that has that little balcony, and we got that experience, and that was beyond. We could even see the water from our room. It was phenomenal. I highly suggest this hotel. Here's the name of the hotel. It was a great place to stay. We stayed here just the one night before our cruise, and then one night after our cruise. As for an activity while we were in Barcelona, we decided to go on the hop-on, hop-off bus. I feel like that's always a great way to sort of get an overview of the city. So that's what we did. The traffic was really, really busy. Really lots and lots of traffic. So, but we kind of got to see all the highlights, and that's really what we wanted to do. There were many places to eat right around the hotel, so we were able to find a place to eat where I really wanted to have tapas for dinner. So we had tapas, and I really enjoyed that. Spent the night. Also, this hotel did offer a breakfast buffet, which was very good. Embarkation day, always an exciting day. Our embarkation time wasn't until a little later. I think it was maybe noon, something like that. So we got a taxi from the hotel onto the cruise port. And again, I think I had a picture of, the address of exactly where we needed to go. Most taxi drivers are going to be pretty familiar with cruise ports. But it's always good to know exactly which cruise port you're going to. So we got to the cruise port, we got out of our taxi. Embarkation day was super easy. By the time we got there, there were not any crowds. We basically just walked right onto the ship. So it was perfect. This was my first time on a Royal Caribbean ship. Before this, I had only traveled on Carnival. So it was exciting to do something a little different. And I was amazed by the size of this ship and just the layout. The layout was so different from what I was used to, and I really liked the layout. I like that there are two elevator banks, and that each bank has a different kind of artwork next to that elevator bank. So I always knew where I was. I always knew if I was at the front, on the front of the ship or the back of the ship. And it just made a lot of sense to me. Later on, I took another Royal Caribbean cruise, and I found out that not all Royal Caribbean ships are created equal. I didn't understand that there were different classes of ship, and that this is actually throughout all the cruise ship companies. They'll have like a certain, we make a certain kind of ship, and there's maybe 5 or 10 of those ship, and then there's another set and another set. So later on we went on a Voyager class, and I was so surprised because it was laid out a little differently, and it didn't have some of the bells and whistles that the Oasis class did. So if you're going to go on a Royal Caribbean, try to make sure you're at least in an Oasis class. It has all the bells and whistles. Our room on this ship was very nice. There were 3 of us, and so we felt like we needed a balcony room. When my husband and I cruise, we've gotten a balcony several times, but we like to cruise more often. So we usually get an interior to get a lower price. But since there were 3 of us, we felt like we needed that balcony and that extra room. And it worked very well. It worked great for the 3 of us. There was plenty of places to put, plenty of storage. It worked just fine for 3 people. I was the one who slept on the couch. The couch, it was a little firm, but we did so much and I was so tired, I slept with no problem. The dining was excellent. On Royal Caribbean, it's so nice because you sit really with just your party. So you don't have to worry about being at a larger table with a bunch of people that you don't know. That's not my favorite thing to do. I know some people love that. They like to meet new people and all that, and that's not really my style. But we were not near a window. So my sister asked the maitre d' if we could be near a window. She's really brave about going to the maitre d' and asking for what she wants. And that turned out wonderful because the second night we were actually seated in a smaller dining room. Very small dining room, just off the main dining room. And we felt like we had gotten an upgrade. It felt fancy, and we were right by a window. So it was, it was great. I guess that's a lesson to learn that, hey, ask for what you want. You never know, you might get it. So we really enjoyed our time at dinner next to that beautiful window, and we had wonderful servers. And the food, I think the food on Royal Caribbean is excellent. I think there's a really nice variety, and we enjoyed it. We had absolutely no complaints at all about the food. There are lots of places to eat on Royal Caribbean. Lots of other venues. Some of them are additional charge, some of them are not. That's one thing I wasn't really used to. On Carnival, you have the main dining room, you have the buffet, and then there's really nothing other than that. There's the hamburgers and sometimes chicken and pizza, but that's all up on the Lido deck. You always had to go up to get something to eat. On Royal Caribbean, they've got places where you can eat things on different levels, and I really like that. Pretty much 24 hours a day, there's always something open and different places to go to. And so that was nice because you didn't just feel like you were always eating at the same places. The entertainment on Royal Caribbean is the best. I have to say, of all the cruise ships I've been on, of course, like I said, to this point it had only been Carnival, but even since then, Royal Caribbean has the best entertainment, and the reason why is because on these Oasis class ships they have a full musical. They have a full musical that they will do. So I have gotten to see Hairspray, which was on Symphony of the Sea. And then I was on Allure and I got to see Mamma Mia. Incredible. So good. Also, these ships have a ice skating rink. So you get to see an ice skating show, which is amazing. I can't believe that they can do that on a cruise ship. So that's wonderful. And then on the Oasis class ships, you have the water shows, which are fantastic. So exciting, kind of that Cirque du Soleil feel. And so good. I can't, the entertaining on Royal Caribbean is very exciting and really, really something to look forward to. On this video, I'm not going to talk about our ports of call, so I'll have separate videos for the different ports of call. But we had a wonderful time on this trip. It was a dream trip. It truly was. When we came back to Barcelona, we came off the cruise ship. We went back to the same hotel, got a taxi, went back to the same hotel. And on that day, we did a couple things. Really within walking distance from our hotel was the America's Cup Museum. The America's Cup was being held in Barcelona. And so they had this museum already set up. So we went to that museum. It was very interesting. Also, there was the aquarium. The Barcelona Aquarium was right there. So we were able to go to that and enjoy that. There was also a mall right next to the aquarium. So, you know, if you're into shopping, there was lots of shopping, lots of things to do. After that, we went back to the hotel and spent the night. Also, this hotel did offer a breakfast buffet, which was very good. We were able to enjoy that and then go to the airport, catch our flight, and come back to America. And then we had the memories. Yeah. The airport in Barcelona is very easy to navigate. I always suggest on an international flight you be there at least 3 hours before. I know that's not super popular, but I think that you really need to be there at least 3 hours before. There's just so many things that can happen. One thing I wanted to let you know about is the Spanish value-added tax. It is very high. It is, here's the percentage. So if you're purchasing goods on the ship or in Spain, you're going to be paying this very high tax. But the country of Spain will allow you to get that money back. But there are some hoops. There are quite a few hoops to jump through. So first of all, you have to get a document from the seller that says what you bought and how much tax you paid. Then, when you get to the airport, before you leave Spain, eventually, after waiting in a bunch of lines, they will give you in cash the tax that you paid. Not all the tax, because all these different lines, well, it's this, you know, this agency takes a percent, and this agency takes a percent, and this agency takes a percent. It was kind of a hassle. I don't know that it was really worth the hassle of it all. Just keep that in mind if you do some shopping in Spain or on the cruise ship. So, was cruising the right way to go? For us, it was. I am not as strong of a walker as my sisters are. And honestly, I was concerned I wasn't going to be able to keep up with them, because I know if you do kind of a grand European tour, traveling around on trains and such, there's just so much walking involved. And I just really didn't know if I could do it. This way, on the cruise ship, I didn't go on all the excursions. I think I went on maybe 3 of the 5 possible excursions. And that was enough for me. I had those days where I wasn't on excursions, where I could rest and kind of regain my stamina for the next trip. And that worked out perfectly. That was really the right thing to do for us. So if you've got people in your group who maybe don't want to do quite as much as others, I think cruising is an excellent option. Thank you so much for watching. This is Crystal with Dudley Doesn't Get to Go, because our sweet dog Dudley doesn't get to go with us when we travel. But thanks again for watching. Please subscribe, please like, please comment, and you have a great day. Bye-bye.